Have you ever felt guilty for having questions about your faith? Like you're doing something wrong just by wondering? Let me tell you about a man named Julian. Julian was deeply committed to his faith, but on the inside, he was at war with himself. He was tormented by huge questions. Why does God allow so much suffering in the world? Is the historical evidence for my faith really as solid as they say? He'd always been taught that doubt was the first step toward losing your faith, that questioning God was a form of blasphemy. So he started hiding his intellectual struggles. He was terrified that if he actually spoke his questions out loud, he'd decommit the one sin that could be forgiven, the kind of doubt that leads to irreversible condemnation. So, Julian's life became a performance. On the outside, he was the perfect believer. He prayed loudly in public, served diligently at every opportunity, and nodded enthusiastically during every sermon. But the sheer effort of suppressing his honest, genuine questions was crushing his spirit. He believed that God rewarded certainty and punished curiosity. He always pictured the doubter in the scriptures as the person who was always cast out, never welcomed. What he did unrealize was that the true opposite of faith is undoubt. It is the absolute certainty in our own limited human understanding. Finally, broken by the weight of it all, Julian confessed his secret doubts to a wise elder in his community. The old man listened patiently, and then he smiled. "Julian," he said gently, "you misunderstand the sin of doubt. The question that burns the soul isn't the honest one that's searching for an answer. It's the cynical question that refuses to believe an answer has even been given." The elder explained that the unforgivable kind of doubt is the one that slams the door shut and walks away from God, not the one that runs toward God, begging for clarity. He reminded Julian of figures in the scriptures who questioned God directly, like Job and even Thomas. They weren't met with condemnation, but with grace and answers. The elder concluded, "Your fear proves that you are still searching. The only unforgivable sin against the Spirit is the refusal to accept the light when it is shining directly on you." In that moment, Julian finally understood. His faith wasn't dependent on having all the answers, but on trusting the one who does. He was finally free from the burden of forced certainty. He learned that faith is often exercised in the middle of the question, not just after it's been answered. May Julian's story remind you that the real danger isn't the doubt you might harbor, but the cynicism you choose to embrace. If your heart is still seeking, your soul is safe. If this story touched you, subscribe to our channel and share this message with someone you know who might be afraid to ask the big questions.